Yeah, good evening, all. Now we are going to talk about the numericals based on Nyquist plot, right? So, if you can recollect, we have already discussed about the principle of argument. Correct? So, principle of argument was n is equal to z minus p. If you can remember the thing which we already discussed in the last lecture, right? So what is this P? These are the OLTF poles. ये सारा OLTF से रिलेटेड चल रहा है ना, OLTF poles. These are OLTF zeros. And this N is encirclement in the clockwise direction. So we had seen that this is encirclement around the origin in clockwise direction. Agree, right? So now see one thing, if you can recollect, in the starting I have talked about Nyquist stability criteria. And this Nyquist stability criterion, I told you that yes, we are looking for what? In RHP there should not be any of the poles. That is the Nyquist stability criteria. Do you remember? Right. So we are going to scan this area, this RHP. I'll mark it. Right. If you can, because we already discussed this. Right. This is the area, and we are talking about Nyquist stability criteria means no poles in this region. If no poles over here, then we say system is stable. Stable, right? Now that means, see, that means if you can recollect, yes, I have told you this also, CLTF poles. From where you are going to get these poles? We'll get it from the characteristic equation. Correct? So these poles, plot of these poles means what? Plot of OLTF zeros. Right? And only one thing, because plus 1 is there, we said shift the origin towards left by 1. Correct? This thing we discussed. Now we'll try to connect these two things. See, now you are talking about the encirclement. Correct? You are talking about the encirclement, right, around the origin. But we have shifted the origin towards left. That means the new statement should be, now we should talk about this N. Will tell you this N is not encirclement for the origin. Now this will tell you encirclement around -1. Correct? Because we have shifted our origin towards left by 1, and that means it is -1. So I should make this thing very much clear. -1. This -1 is very, very, very important. Now we'll not look for encirclement for 0 or the origin. We'll look for the encirclement on the -1. Clear? Right? Then the next thing is, that means in Nyquist plot, what we'll try to see? We'll try to see the encirclement that are there around the origin, correct? Around the -1, correct? And we are interested in OLTF zeros. One more thing we had seen that, yes, this Z are OLTF zeros, means they are CLTF poles. So I'll make that change over here. The Z which you are saying, actually on the plot they will be OLTF zeros. That means these are actually CLTF poles. Correct? Because you can see this statement, OLTF zeros means CLTF poles. So if you want stable system, I'll write for stable system, you want Z to be equal to 0. Correct? And for that, two things should be known to me. N, how many encirclements are there around -1? From where you will get? You will get it from Nyquist plot. Correct? You are going to plot the thing and you will observe कि -1 को कितने encirclements है. Correct? Then what left is P. So what you should be aware of? Yes, how many? So these are OLTF poles in RHP, because you are talking about Nyquist plot means Nyquist contour ka mapping, and this is your Nyquist contour, correct? RHP. So whatever OLTF poles are there, this P will give you the OLTF poles in RHP. Now one more concept I am trying to tell you. Listen carefully. Here, if you can remember in the starting when we started for this transfer function and all these things, right? In second year, I think I told you most of the times you will find, mostly 99% you will find your OLTF, matlab open loop systems, open loop systems are stable system. Now open loop system means just a minute. Yeah, you're giving some input and you're getting some output. So I'm writing input, output, and OLTF, open loop system. Keep in your mind these open loop systems are, I'll write open loop systems are stable system. Are stable, right? Normally whatever changes in the input, right, system will act on that. Might be there are changes in the output, but never you will find that it is going away from the whatever set point or the datum line that you are expecting. But what is the problem with this? You will find that yes, stability side good, stable good, right? But whatever characteristics that you are expecting, characteristics means we talked about TR or TP or TS, MP, right? All these characteristics, you will find that we are not getting I'll write to the mark, not to the mark, not as expected. So what we used to have, because you are not getting as per the expectation, what you do? You put a controller in the system. You make it closed loop system. है ना? Am I right? And you say, yes, feedback should be there. So I'll draw it. Many a times we had drawn this, right? You know very well. So we are having a closed loop system. Now whenever closed loop system, a controller is there and this is your OLTF. OLTF नहीं बोलते अभी, process बोलते हैं, process gain, correct? Process gain you are having, correct? Now this is closed loop system. सो क्लोज लूप सिस्टम्स चांसेस आर देयर, इन दोनों में डिफरेंस हमने लिखा था, दीज सिस्टम्स आर स्टेबल एंड क्लोज लूप सिस्टम चांसेस आर देयर इट मे बिकम अनस्टेबल. नाउ व्हाई दिस इज बिकमिंग अनस्टेबल? द स्टेबिलिटी डिपेंड्स अपॉन द tuning of your controller. If your controller, I'll write tuning of the controller. If your controller is not tuned properly, right, then you will find that yes, system is not your system is not stable. So what I want to tell you from all these things, whatever I am writing, keep in your mind that normally 99% all OLTF systems, right, are stable systems. That is from this line we can say that P का value, which is OLTF poles, poles lying in RHP, normally you will find it is equal to 0, and whatever examples will take, or you will find in the book, right, you will find in the transfer function OLTF denominator all S values, you will get all those things to be negative. Sometimes might be on the origin. What is the solution for that, we'll see, right? But in RHP normally you will not get the thing. Now what equations we have, what is the principle of argument? N is equal to Z minus P, correct, right? This encirclement you will get from Nyquist plot. Okay, this Z you are going to get, I mean, what is this Z? CLTF poles, right? And for normal systems we said that yes, this is 0. That means, can I say encirclement is equal to or CLTF poles means is equal to encirclement, and means very simple statement we can have over here, that is no encirclement around -1, system is stable, correct? Encirclements N, right, greater than 0, sorry, less than 0 I have written, greater than 0, that is Z greater than 0, that is CLTF poles in RHP, that is system is unstable. Is unstable. Or instead of saying greater than 0, obviously you will find that never you are going to get encirclement less than 0, right? So that means N for this particular thing, that means N not equal to 0. That means your system is unstable. Okay? So I'll save this first and we'll start with the numericals now. So I'm talking about first numerical and related to the Nyquist plot. Numerical 1. Okay. And the statement says decide stability using Nyquist plot. Decide stability using Nyquist plot. ठीक है. So the transfer function which is given to you, gh of s is equal to 1 upon s square plus 3s plus 2. So this is a type 0 system. In the denominator of OLTF, s ka power 0. Alright. So what I can write for this now, I'll go for the solution for this. Yeah. Step number 1. Okay. And what I'll write is gh of s is equal to, you should take j omega. S is equal to j omega. So what I can write, gh of j omega is equal to, I'll write the factors for this. Okay. So you will have s plus 1 and s plus 2. And now I'll substitute j omega for this. Actually, I should not write this. Wait. I'll write first s. Yeah. And now gh of s, gh of j omega is equal to 1 upon j omega plus 1, j omega minus 1. J omega plus 2. Okay, so we'll write it in polar form. So 1 at an angle of 0 upon omega square plus 1 under root magnitude, and angle will be tan inverse of omega. First factor. Second factor will be under root omega square plus 4, and angle will be tan inverse of omega by 2. Okay. Now we'll separate the magnitude and the angle. Okay. So I can write gh j omega magnitude. So it is going to be equal to one upon under root omega square plus 1 and omega square plus 4. So this is the magnitude, and angle will be angle of gh j omega, because both the factors are in the denominator, both are poles, right? Numerator में कुछ angle नहीं है, so it will be minus tan inverse of omega minus tan inverse of omega by 2. Right? So we'll go for the next few steps. Step number 1 we have done. Now we'll go for step number 2. And we are trying to get what will happen at omega equal to 0. When omega will be equal to 0, now you are interested in gh j omega. Correct. Now very well understood. Here when you will have omega equal to 0, this will be under root 1, this will be under root 4, magnitude will be half at an angle of 0 0. So angle is going to be 0. Step number 3. When omega is infinite, right? So you are going to have gh j omega is equal to, just look over here, when this will be infinite, denominator में magnitude will be 0, tan inverse of infinity 90, tan inverse of infinity 90, minus 90 minus 90 minus 180 degrees. So we got the thing for omega equal to 0 and omega equal to infinity. Now step number 4. Now we are trying to separate, right, real and imaginary part so that we can have intersection with the axis. Okay. So GHJ omega is equal to 1 upon this denominator, that is j omega plus 1 j omega plus 4. Okay, we'll have complex conjugate of these two. So j omega minus 1 j omega minus 4. Here also j omega minus 1 and j omega minus 4. Okay, so just a moment. Yeah. So if you multiply these things, you will have j square, that is minus, so minus omega square, plus I made a mistake over here. I should write 2, right? Because this is 2. This is 2. I don't know how come I have written 4. So I'll remove this. And it is minus 2, minus 2, minus 2. And this is plus 2 actually, original one. Fine. Okay, so what I was saying, omega square plus 2, right, and minus 1 minus 2, so minus 3 j omega upon multiplication of two complex conjugates, so it is going to be omega square minus 1 because j is there, and here also minus omega square minus 4, right? So I'll take this minus and this minus common and I'll multiply, so you are going to have real part 2 omega square upon omega square plus 1 omega square plus 4 omega square plus 1 omega square plus 4 plus j. So what you are having now, minus 3 omega. So this is the real part and this is the imaginary part, and now we'll try to get the intersection with the axis also. Okay, so next step will be step number 5, and I'll say interaction intersection with the imaginary axis, or I'll write imaginary intercept. Now when you are talking about imaginary intercept, real part you have to equate it to 0. So I'll write real part is equal to 0, and that will tell you that this thing will become equal to 0. This equated to 0, you are going to have omega square is equal to 2, that is omega is equal to root 2, because you cannot have the now we are not talking about the negative value. Fine, right? Okay, so we got omega is equal to root 2 at frequency omega is equal to root 2, it is going to intersect the imaginary axis. Fine. Now for this frequency, what is the imaginary part we are interested in? So what we'll do, imaginary part is equal to minus 3 omega का value I'll put root 2 divided by, so this is square, so 2 plus 1 3 and 2 plus 4 6, so it will come out to be minus 0.236. So you got the imaginary intercept over here. I'll make bracket for this. Important values. This one also important, will require for calculation. Correct? These are the four. One more thing, we want to get the real axis intersection also. So we'll go for the real axis intercept now. Step number 6. So I'll write real axis intercept. So when you are finding out real axis intercept, your imaginary part should be equated to 0. So I'll write imaginary part is equal to 0. When you are going to equate this thing to 0, just observe minus 3 upon omega divided by omega square plus 1 and omega square plus 4 and equate it to 0. So when you are equating this thing to 0, now you'll find that this omega can be equal to infinity, can be equal to 0. So two values are possible, omega equal to 0 and omega is equal to infinite. And we know for both the values what should be the real part value, right? When it is omega equal to 0, angle is 0. Angle is 0 means real axis ka cutting hai. Angle is minus 180 means also it is imaginary real axis ka cutting only. So for this, you know, real part is half, and for this, you know, it is 0. So no need to calculate now. We know all the intercept, right? Only the thing is we are supposed to draw the plot. So I'll try to draw that. Okay. And yeah. So the things we are aware of. In which plane we are drawing? Yes, we are drawing it in W plane now. Fine. We got GH omega at omega equal to 0, that is half at 0. I am not drawing to the scale. So let us say from this point till this point that you are having is half, magnitude half. Okay. And this is happening at omega equal to 0. At omega equal to 0, you are getting this value, and definitely you very well understood that angle is 0. So that's why I marked the point. Then the second point, you just look over here. What we got at omega is equal to root 2. Okay, first I'll finish with this. You can see over here, at omega equal to infinity, the ending of the plot will be with magnitude 0 and along 180. So it should be like this. And at this point, at origin, when the magnitude will be equal to 0, it is going to cut the real axis. At that point, the angle will be minus 180. Rest all angles will be definitely less than 180, and at the end, when it will be at the origin. So that means if I want to draw, definitely the plotting will be like this. Okay. Now you just observe the second point, right? That is omega is equal to root 2. So you are increasing the value. When omega is equal to root 2, it is intersecting the imaginary axis and it is on minus 0.236. So I'll mark the point minus 0.236, and the value of that over here, omega, is root 2. Now see, do you agree? We are doing only the polar plot we are trying to plot over here. 0 to infinity we are trying. See, I'm not drawing that Nyquist plot over here. Let me draw it. So will be easy. Rough में ही draw करते हैं. It will be easy for you to understand what is going on, right? What we are trying to do. So this is actually the S-plane. And I am talking about, this is your Nyquist contour. W plane means this is your Nyquist plot, and every point from the Nyquist contour you are trying to map it on Nyquist plot, right? We discussed a lot, many a times this thing. So you are starting with omega 0 going till omega equal to infinity. So in this direction you are moving, omega equal to 0 to omega equal to infinity. Correct? From this point in a semicircular path you are trying to convert you are trying to cover the whole RHP with infinite radius, and we are reaching at omega equal to minus infinity, and again from minus infinity to 0 we'll try to complete the path, right? So we are moving upward, and you can see very well the direction is clockwise. Correct? Now in the last lecture we had discussed this thing that 0 to infinity, yes, we are trying to map it. No need to map this part because it will be mirror image of this, and no need to worry for the semicircle also because this thing is getting mapped into a into just a point at the origin. Why? Because our present system is strictly proper system. I'll change the color and I would like to write it so will be easy for you to remember. So this is strictly proper system. And what do you mean by strictly proper system? Strictly proper system means m is less than n, and very well understood over here, 0 zeros and 2 poles, that means m is 0, n is 2, m is less than n, system is strictly proper. All the points on this path will get mapped into a single point at origin. And so यहाँ से यहाँ तक ड्रॉ करना, ओमेगा इक्वल टू इन्फिनिटी टू omega equal to 0 to omega equal to infinity. Drawing this part is only the skill and the important thing. Otherwise it's very simple to draw the Nyquist plot. Now just look what I am saying. One more thing I would like to add over here. This point, at this point, correct? Now your frequency is omega equal to infinity. Agree? This point 0 magnitude minus 180 से complete हो रहा है. So now I am not drawing the intermediate points like omega equal to 0 till omega equal to 1.412. You got so many points. So now definitely I want you to draw to calculate. Just take any value like 0.2, 0.5 for omega and try to get these magnitudes and angles, right? And you will have that tabular form. I am not going to waste time in that. On the same line, after omega you have increased, you try to calculate the values for at least, see this angle, right? This angle is going to be near about 170. So after 170 whatever you are getting, so at least 90, 100, 110 and all these 3-4 values you try to get. So you will have the plot ka shape. So you will find that yes, the plot you are going to get. 1 minute, I'll change the color so it will be easy for you to yes. So this is going to be the shape of the Nyquist plot. Then you reached over here, all these points are getting mapped into a single point. I'll put one point over here, correct? And rest again, this part will be mirror image of this. So definitely I would like to draw it like this, and you know that this is mirror image of this, that means this point is 0.236 plus. Now whatever might be the frequency for it, keep in your mind that these two are mirror images. But one more thing, now if this is half, right, double of that. So let me draw it if it is possible for me. Yeah, Yes. Yes. So let us say double of that is somewhere over here, right? And this is -1. तो कितना भी gain ज़्यादा हो system का, even if it is like this, you will find it is just not possible for this curve to encircle -1. Correct? कितना भी gain ज़्यादा हो, ultimately magnitude is 0 at 180 only, -180. So never it is going to cross this -1. So what this thing is telling you, that encirclement is equal to 0, P is equal to 0, because very well it is understood over here, S is equal to -1, S is equal to -2. OLTF poles both are not lying in RHP, P is equal to 0, and because of that you are having Z equal to also 0, which is telling you CLTF poles in RHP, and if it is 0, your system is stable. So we have completed one more numerical. So let me save this. Yeah. And I'll clear all the drawings, and we'll go for second numerical, which is for type 1. Okay. Simple one again. But whenever you will find the pole is lying at origin, right, we have to think of it what should be done. So we are going for numerical 2. And that is type 1 system. So when you are talking about type 1 system, now let us say the statement and all those things are same, right? And I'm writing GH of S is equal to 1 upon S plus 1. Okay, in the denominator S ka power 1 for your OLTF. Yes, system is of type 1. So step number 1 for solution, S is equal to J omega. GH J omega is equal to 1 upon J omega and J omega plus 1. So in the polar form, it is going to be 1 at an angle of 0 upon magnitude will be omega, angle will be 90, and here it will be under root omega square plus 1, and angle will be tan inverse of omega. Right? So we'll try to separate the polar form, and the magnitude, not polar form, the magnitude and the angle. So magnitude you are going to have 1 upon omega under root omega square plus 1, and angle will be these two. So minus 90 minus tan inverse of omega. So we got both the statements, right? Terms rather, or equations, right? So we'll go for step number 2. Step number 2, we want to get when it is omega equal to 0. When omega will be equal to 0, your GHJ omega will be equal to 0, means infinity. This will become 0, so cancel out, angle will be minus 90 degrees. Right? And then step number 3, when your omega will be infinity. When omega will be infinite, denominator में infinity means magnitude will be 0 and angle will be minus 90 and minus 90, so minus 180. Right. Now step number 4. That is, we'll try to separate the real part and imaginary part to get the intercepts. Okay, so this is with us. GH j omega is equal to 1 upon you are having in the denominator where it is j omega. So j omega, and you don't want this j over here. So definitely you are supposed to multiply and divide by j. So I'll do it over here. Correct. Another factor that you are having is j omega plus 1. So you have to multiply by its complex conjugate j omega minus 1, and in the numerator also j omega minus 1. So what we are having now, j square. J square is minus 1. So I'll write minus sign over here. And when you open the brackets, you are going to have j square. J square is minus, correct? So minus omega and minus j upon this j and this j square we have taken it up, so only omega remains, and in the denominator we had omega square minus omega square minus 1. So one more minus sign over here, so minus will get cancelled out, and you are going to have minus omega minus j upon omega square plus 1. Now it's very easy for us to separate it. So you are going to have minus omega, and this will be plus j minus 1. I'll write the denominator for both. Omega square plus 1. Yes, definitely we can cancel out this omega also. Omega square plus 1. Now we want to go for the intercepts. So I'm talking about first intercept, step number 5. That is real axis intercept. Now this real axis intercept, when you are trying to get, that means you are equating imaginary part to 0. When you are going to equate imaginary part equal to 0, 101%, you are going to get omega is equal to infinity, because denominator में, correct? Now when omega is equal to infinity and you are talking about the real part, I'll write real part is equal to minus 1 upon omega square plus 1, and your omega is infinite. That means infinity plus 1, again infinite. 1 upon infinity is 0. So at omega equal to infinity, the magnitude of the GH omega is going to be equal to 0. Correct? Very simple. Right? On the same line, now if you are talking about step number 6, that is imaginary axis intercept. Yeah, so imaginary part, when you want to get that right real part, you have to equate it to 0. So I'll write real part equated to 0, which is equal to minus 1 upon omega square plus 1. Right, again we got omega equal to infinity, and we know that at omega equal to infinity, right, magnitude is 0 and angle is going to be minus 180. So no need to write it again. Actually we are getting the same conditions, right? So we'll have imaginary part is equal to 0. Okay, now see whatever data we got, from that we want to draw the plot. I am going to draw the plot approximately, correct? Let me draw it and then I'll explain you. I'll draw it over here only, otherwise I'll draw on this side. Listen carefully. Wait. Yeah. I'm talking about this one, your Nyquist contour. Right, and this is your Nyquist plot. एक काम करते हैं, I'll draw it over here, so will be easy for us to compare. Just a minute. Yes, so this is your Nyquist plot. That means this is W plane and this one is S plane. So we'll go simultaneously, so will be easy for us to understand what is happening, right? So over here you see, one thing is, now S in the denominator you are having a pole over here. ये point पे pole है. So definitely now we are not starting with origin. Why? I'll tell you, have patience, just listen what I'm telling. That at this point, right, we have to exclude this point. We have to exclude this origin. So I'll write just omega plus. So omega is equal to 0 plus, and we are going till omega equal to infinity. Okay, so I'll draw that line. Very well you are aware of how we are moving, correct? At omega is equal to 0, now all the conditions are with us. When omega is equal to 0, it is infinity, and from minus 90 it is coming. From minus 90 at infinite magnitude it is going to approach the origin. At omega equal to infinity, 0 magnitude and 180. So obviously the plot will be of this kind, correct? Now after this, mapping is there, so a semicircular path with infinite radius, and you will reach at omega equal to minus infinity. So let me write all the points. So over here, right, you are at omega is equal to 0 plus. Why I am writing plus? Just ahead of this, right? Omega equal to 0. At this point you are at omega equal to infinity, correct? All this semicircle is getting mapped into the same point, and now you are at omega equal to minus infinity. Both the points are same, correct? And now you are going towards the omega equal to 0, but I'll write omega equal to 0 minus. Right, so and we know that exactly mirror image of this is going to be over here. So I'll try to draw the mirror image. I don't know how much accurately I'll be able to draw it. let us say I have drawn the mirror image, and at this point, now this point point is at omega is equal to 0 minus. Correct? Now what is going to happen at this pole, if your contour is passing through it, right, at this point, if you will include this point, that is this 0, 1 upon s in the contour, what is going to happen? It is in the denominator. If it is in the denominator and s is equal to 0, this magnitude will become infinite. So we have to complete something, we don't know what it is, but something with infinite radius, which is not possible for us, right? Not possible to show on the plot. So what we are doing, what we are going to do, we are going to go for the detouring. What do you mean by detour? Now I am trying to draw. So this part I am expanding. I'll draw with some different color. So I'll draw it with red. This 0, this encircled part, I am drawing it over here. And what it is, see, what we are going to do is, yeah, we are going to exclude this 0. Sorry, this pole. Means what? This pole is over here. Alright, we are at, let us say, omega equal to 0 minus. So we are going to detour it from 0 minus to 0 plus. That means we are going to exclude this 0, will not include that 0 in the RHP or in the contour rather. Then you may say, why to draw on this side? I will, if I just want to skip this, I will draw it out from this side also. Fine, no problem. You can complete your detour like this, or you can complete your detour like this. So this is detour. This is called as detour. What is the radius of this detour? Radius is considered as epsilon, correct, which is tending to 0. What about the angle of this detour? Angle is very well understood. From this point you are starting and going over here. So it is from minus 90 to plus 90. It is going to vary. Right? So how you are moving? Epsilon at an angle of theta is your detour. Fine? Right? And I am talking about, see, I will explain you both the conditions. Where detour you are completing from this side, or the second condition is you will complete your detour on the other side. Let me draw it. I'll draw it with some different color. Let us say I am completing it on this side. Fine, no problem. Ultimately your answer will be the same. How I'll explain? Just a minute. Correct? Again, on this side, when you are completing from this side, you are considering the positive side. This epsilon is tending to 0, but it is plus epsilon. When you are considering this, right, this radius, now this detour radius, I'll say, you can represent it as minus epsilon with angle theta. Again, epsilon tending to 0, no doubt about it, and your theta is from minus 90 to plus 90, because from downward you are going upward. So the angle will be from minus 90 to plus 90 you are going to have. Correct? Now we'll see both the conditions. In these conditions, what is happening? What we are doing? Actually, from every pole we are trying to get the GHHS, right? So if your detour is moving like this, you are interested in what is the phasor length of this, and because of that, what is the value of your GHJ omega. So I'll write it over here. So when you are saying GHJ omega for this detour, correct, you are supposed to put this value. अभी ये है वो vector. एक minute. Again I'll draw. I'll show you. From this pole till this point, you are drawing this, correct? And this vector is polar form में epsilon at an angle of theta, right? So this value you are supposed to, ये s का value है for this detour, so you are supposed to put in the equation. So what equation you are going to get? 1 upon s. S means epsilon at an angle of theta, correct, and epsilon at an angle of theta plus 1. So very well understood. This epsilon is tending to 0, added with 1. Yes, this is the dominating term 1, right? Multiplication hai to it's a different case, but when it is getting added into 0 into 1, ultimately it will be 1 only. So we can definitely neglect this thing over here and we can consider it to be 1. So ultimately it is going to be epsilon at an angle of theta. तो ऊपर जाके 1 upon epsilon, 1 upon 0, so infinite magnitude, correct, and this angle will be minus theta. So how this infinity magnitude is there, how it is going to vary for angle minus of theta, that means 90 to minus 90. Now what this thing is telling you, when you are at 0 minus over here till 0 plus here, you have to vary with, I mean the thing will be completed with infinite radius, correct, and from plus 90 to minus 90. So this whole thing will be your Nyquist plot now, right? On the same line, let me complete one thing on simultaneously both the sides. Now your epsilon is minus epsilon, ठीक है? So what you are going to have, g h j omega will be 1 upon minus epsilon at tan theta upon minus epsilon at an angle of theta plus 1. Again very small value added, no need to worry. So it is 1 minus, so it will be minus infinity minus theta, correct, मैं फिर से लिखती हूँ. So that means minus infinity at an angle of, again minus theta means same, 90 to minus 90, correct. So over here minus 90, sorry, plus 90 to minus 90, but minus infinity. So minus infinity means we have to complete the circle from this side. Circle means the semicircle, right? Semicircular path. And assume that you are having minus 1 over here. Abhi just observe the stability conditions. Just give me, yeah. See, when this condition is there, the red part, your plot started at this point, ended over here, going on this side, and the red part. So number of encirclements, I'll make one more line over here. Yeah. So for this part, n is equal to, 1 minute. Yeah, n is equal to 0. एक भी encirclement नहीं है because your path is completed like this, correct. Denominator देखो. Now when you are completing detour on this side, right, pole is getting excluded. When you are completing detouring on this side, this pole is getting included in RHP. When excluded, P का value आपका 0 है. When included, your P का value will be equal to 1 because one pole is inside the RHP, it is line, है ना, right? अभी encirclement 0 है और P भी 0 है. That means n is equal to Z minus P. This is 0, this is 0, this is 0. System is stable. Agree with me, right? Now I'll write this thing with the same color. What you are having? You are having P equal to 1 now because you completed the detouring on this side. But you observe the path. Path is this one. Correct. So you can see one encirclement is there around this minus 1 and in the opposite direction. That means n is equal to minus 1. n is equal to z minus p. This is minus 1, this is minus 1. Again your z will be equal to 0 and system is stable. So definitely for both the cases, the answer that you are going to have is same. How you look at the detour. So your problem, why we are excluding? Because whenever the pole is at the pole, the pole is at the origin, right? Magnitude of GH becomes infinite. If you want, I'll write pole at origin GHJ omega tends to infinity. Not possible to plot. And that's why detour. We have to draw a detour. Agree? Right? Let me save this. Yeah. And we'll stop over here. We have completed 2 numericals. In the next lecture, we'll go for body plot.